July 15th, 6 p.m., Glorietta Activity Center. In a few hours, a shopping mall atrium in Makati City is about to become one of the loudest rooms in Philippine sports history. A 21-year-old athlete is being asked to stand in front of thousands of cheering fans, cameras, and sponsor banners before she has even had the time to fully process a painful loss. This is the story of how a Wimbledon round of 16 exit turned into the biggest tennis homecoming the Philippines has ever seen. Her name is Alex Eala. She is 21 years old, left-handed, and from Quezon City. Her ranking climb over the past year tells its own story. Number 30, then number 29 in March after Indian Wells, and now a projected career high of number 28 following Wimbledon. Just over a year earlier, she had been ranked as low as number 140 in the world. This has not been a single lucky spike. It has been a steady climb. In 2026 alone, she reached the Miami Open, made the semifinals in Berlin, where she defeated Elena Rybakina and Alina Svitolina, two players who have each won Grand Slam titles, won the title in Birmingham, and even played doubles alongside Venus Williams in Bad Homburg. By the time she stepped on the grass at Wimbledon, Eala had already compiled a 12-4 record across the grass court swing. Everything that has happened since has simply been the tennis world catching up to her. But the real turning point came at Wimbledon, the tournament widely regarded as the Mecca of tennis, played at the All England Lawn Tennis and Croquet Club in London. On June 30th, Eala defeated Mexico's Renata Zarazua 6-1, 6-2, becoming first Filipino player, man or woman, to win a singles main draw match at Wimbledon. In the second round, she got revenge on Australia's Maya Joint, winning 3-6, 6-2, 6-0, avenging an earlier loss to join at the Lexus Eastbourne Open the previous year. Along the way, Eala also became the first Filipina-seeded player in Grand Slam history, entering the tournament as the 29th seed. Then came the match that changed everything. On July 4th, on center court, Eala faced defending champion and world number 3 IGA Swiatek, a player who has won 6 Grand Slam titles and spent 125 weeks as world number 1. The opening set alone lasted 84 minutes and is widely regarded as one of the best sets of the entire tournament. Swiatek held 2 set points in the tiebreak, but Eala saved both, eventually closing it out 7-6, 11-9. She carried that momentum straight into the second set, racing to a 4-0 lead before sealing the match 6-2, finishing with 24 winners against 21 unforced errors, while converting 5 of 7 break points and saving 8-11 she faced. It was Eala's 7th career win over a top 10 player, and it made her the first Filipina in history to reach the second week of a Grand Slam. Speaking afterward, Eala said, "I am really emotional, and maybe for someone like IGA who has won so many slams, or for Serena or Venus Williams, this achievement may seem small, but for someone who grew up in the Philippines, this is everything." She also reflected on the opponent herself, saying, "IGA is a phenomenal player and a really nice person. I'm really grateful to be able to share center court with her at Wimbledon nonetheless." The reactions arrived almost instantly. Tennis legend Maria Sharapova, long described by Eala as her super idol, commented a star on a social media post celebrating the win. Billie Jean King, who met Eala in person afterward, posted, "What a treat to spend some time with Alex Eala, fresh off her historic win at Wimbledon today. Such an inspiration for kids in the Philippines and all over the world. Keep going for it, Alex." Catherine, Princess of Wales, was also seen courtside during Eala's run, and other public figures, including Andrew Garfield and Tom Hiddleston, were spotted applauding in the stands. On Wimbledon's own social channels, Eala's winning moment drew more than 400,000 reactions and 20 million views on Facebook, along with over 600,000 likes and another 20 million views on Instagram. But on July 6th, the fairy tale hit a wall. Eala faced Italy's Jasmine Paolini, a former Wimbledon finalist, in the round of 16 and lost 4-6, 6-4, 3-6, a match in which she had actually led in the second set but could not close it out. Even so, Eala remained defiant afterward, telling reporters, "Just because I'm emotional doesn't mean I'm satisfied. So let's move on to the next round and let's go." Then, on July 7th, something quieter happened. Instead of a press statement or a public appearance, Eala posted a simple thank you message to the Filipino fans who had filled the stands with flags throughout her run. It became the emotional pivot point of her entire Wimbledon story. She processed her loss not by stepping away from her fans, but by turning directly toward them. That is where the corporate machine took over. Just 2 working days after her loss, on July 9th, Globe Telecom announced Home Court, the Alex Eala Fan Meet Experience, an event where Eala serves as a Gen G ambassador. The timing suggests significant advanced planning rather than a reactive scramble. A full national celebration, complete with a public venue booking, program schedule, and app-based registration system, does not typically come together in just 2 business days without prior coordination. In 2025, a similar celebration for Eala was held at the Globe Tower, an invite-only corporate setting. This time, the venue is the Glorietta Activity Center, a public mall atrium, a shift that signals just how much her drawing power has grown in a single year. Registration for the event opens at 4 p.m. on July 15th, with the program beginning at 6 p.m. Organizers describe the event in a statement. We celebrate the homecoming of the Filipina tennis star following her inspiring Wimbledon campaign, a journey that showcased not only her world-class talent, but also the resilience, grit, and courage that continue to inspire millions of Filipinos, especially the youth. Alex embodies what it means to pursue greatness with purpose. This was not Eala's only homecoming commitment. In the same window of days, she was also lined up for appearances tied to Nike and BPI. 3 separate sponsor-driven homecoming events packed into roughly a week on top of a short personal vacation in Europe that included attending a Bad Bunny concert in Stockholm. As part of the Globe partnership, fans are also being directed toward registering to the Globe One app for updates on event access, a detail that highlights the customer engagement angle sitting alongside the celebration itself. It is a pattern increasingly common in Philippine sports marketing, pairing a genuine national moment with a structured digital funnel that keeps fans connected to brand long after the event ends. Before any of the sponsor events, though, came the moment that set the tone for everything that followed. On Sunday, July 12th, Eala landed at NAIA Terminal 3. She was welcomed by Philta Secretary General and Navota's Mayor John Ray Tayanco, Philippine Sports Commission Chairman Patrick Pato Gregorio, and Philippine Olympic Committee President Abraham Bambo Tolentino, alongside her parents, Mike and Riza Eala. It marked Eala's first time back in Manila since the Philippine Women's opened the previous January. The arrival area filled with music from the Banda Kawayaning Pilipinas, a performance group that uses instruments made entirely of bamboo, while a crowd of young Filipino athletes and fans packed the terminal to greet her. Visibly caught off guard by the scale of the welcome, Eala was heard asking, "Is this really all for me?" The Philippine Tennis Association later responded to that very question on social media, writing, "Is this really all for me? Yes, at alex.eala, it really is. Welcome home, Alex Eala. Mabuhay ka." The Philippine Sports Commission added its own message. "Happy homecoming, Alex. We hope you feel all the love and pride that you brought to Filipinos everywhere." Officials framed her arrival as more than a tennis milestone, positioning her as a model of what dedication and consistency can achieve on the world stage. And her run has been described in Philippine sports coverage as a source of national pride that reaches beyond the tennis community itself, inspiring interest across youth sports programs nationwide. What Eala has accomplished carries weight beyond tennis itself. The Philippines have produced world-class champions before, most notably Manny Pacquiao in boxing, along with champions in billiards, but never in tennis, and never on a stage as global as Wimbledon. Pacquiao himself was among those who reacted publicly to Eala's win over Swiatek, commenting a Philippine flag and raised hands emoji on the post celebrating her victory, a small but symbolic passing of recognition between 2 generations of Filipino sporting achievement. Officials at the airport and in the days since have pointed to her run as evidence of a broader shift in Philippine sports, with sports leaders describing plans to expand tennis infrastructure nationwide, including talk of new courts in Cebu and the rehabilitation of courts in Baguio. Officials have also spoken about building a fuller tennis ecosystem in the country, one that includes coaching certification programs and expanded court access for young players across the nation, so that Eala's rise translates into lasting opportunity rather than a single isolated achievement. The Department of Tourism also weighed in publicly following her Wimbledon run, celebrating her achievement as a moment of national significance that extends well beyond the sport itself. There is little time to rest. Only 12 days separate the Glorietta fan event from Eala's departure for the United States hardcourt swing. Her schedule moves quickly. The Wimbledon DC Open, a WTA 500 tournament, beginning July 27th in Washington, followed by the Cincinnati Open, then the Canadian Open in Toronto, before the biggest test of all, the U.S. Open, running August 30th to September 13th at Flushing Meadows. Her new career-high ranking of number 28, confirmed once the WTA updates its official rankings, carries a total of 1,666 points, placing her ahead of several past Grand Slam champions in the current live standings. As tennis analysts have noted, having already beaten Swiatek once this season, there is no obvious reason Eala cannot keep pushing further into the game's biggest stages. It will also mark 1 year since her first Grand Slam main draw singles win, which came at the U.S. Open the previous season, making this year's return to New York a full-circle moment in her young career. Glorietta will be the smallest room Alex Eala plays in for the rest of her career. Everything that comes after this is arenas,